Superhero landing. Yeah, that's really hard on your knee.
In the world we live in right now, superheroes are everywhere. At one time, they may have just been in the pages of comics, but now they're in TV shows, movies, video games, VR titles, and it seems like every year, the true question is, what superhero will get the spotlight next? The superhero fever is so high that there are no doubt billions of people who wish they could go and be heroes like their favorite caped crusaders. But as we'll show you, sometimes the way to be a superhero is to act when the opportunity presents itself. Allow us to show you real-life superheroes caught on camera. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. 9. Sledgehammers versus Granny. Let's be honest here. One of the scariest kinds of villain activities are the robberies that happen in the spur of the moment against armed thieves. Because no one is expecting them, and how you react is completely based on the situation present. In England, a group of masked thieves attempted to do a smash and grab at a jewelry store armed with sledgehammers. As they attempted to break into the store, no one could have expected what happened next. As from across the street, a 74-year-old woman dashed up to them and started to take care of business superhero style. And by that, we mean that she went and started whacking them with her bag. Yes, this really happened as the footage showed. There's a lot of things to appreciate here. Not the least of which is that she was threatened by them when she attacked them, and she didn't care and kept going. Not to mention, she was running to them despite the arthritis in her legs. That meant she was in literal pain as she tried to stop this robbery and didn't care. We don't deserve her. She's the hero we need in a time that doesn't want her. 8. Jeffrey Dweller, aka the PUBG Hero. This is another one that we promise is real as the footage will show you. Because this was another case of a person not wanting to be a hero when they woke up that morning, but by nightfall, they had answered the call of justice. Jeffrey Dweller was going to a friend's Halloween party. His guise? No, not a superhero getup, but rather the box art character from PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, also known as PUBG. He dressed up as the helmeted fighter and even had a frying pan as a weapon, something you can get in the game for extra effect. As he was heading to the party, he heard a man shouting for help as a man was trying to steal his bike, for reasons unknown to man and science. The thief got away from the man, but not from Jeffrey, because the thief went right into his path and Jeffrey full-on whacked him with the frying pan, knocking him off the bike and saving him in the process. See? And they say video games are bad for you. If he hadn't have played PUBG, he wouldn't have been perfectly equipped to save someone. That's a true superhero origin story right there. 7. Operation Repossess Thief. This one is honestly a bit too cool for words, but we'll go and do it anyway because it deserves to be told. In one event, a man had stolen a BMW and was trying to weave his way through traffic in order to get away from the police. Unfortunately for him, he was also being tailed by a helicopter, so getting away was extremely unlikely. But as he weaved his way through traffic, he went and crashed the car, and so he felt the best way to escape was to go and use his skateboard to try and flee. It only worked in slowing him down and eventually getting blocked off by Lou Pizzaro. Does that name sound familiar? It should, because that's one of the men behind the show Operation Repo. He well and truly used his own truck to stop the thief and ensure he didn't get away so police could detain him. A repo man turned superhero? We'd watch that show for at least a few seasons, just saying. 6. The unassuming man known as Grandpa Bill. We've already shown you one elderly person stepping up to get the job done, so let's show you another, a grandpa this time. His name was Bill, and one day he was with his daughter at the local library when he went outside and saw something he most definitely didn't expect. The police were chasing a dangerous man and having trouble pinning him down because he was running. Bill used a classic hero technique of making himself look unassuming via limping and using a cane. But then when the man got close to him, Grandpa Bill straight up broke out the hero moves and tripped him up so violently and suddenly that the man went down hard, and the police had the ability to subdue him. We just hope Grandpa Bill only uses his moves for good. Great power and all that, you know? 5. Timing. If you've ever wondered how it was that heroes are able to go and save the day right when they need to, it's because they have an understated power of perfect timing. Such was the case for this unassuming bank manager. As you can see, he's just strolling to the door to look out of it, likely enjoying the view when suddenly a masked robber comes and tries to get inside. The manager reacts in a split second and holds onto the door so that the man can't get in. The manager doesn't even flinch when the robber tries to bang on the door with his gun to dissuade him from stopping him. That manager held on until eventually the robber gave up, and the manager then went to call the police. But think about all that happened there. He needed to react instantly, instinctively, else a robbery was going to happen. He did the right move, and thus everyone was saved by his heroic actions. Number 4. James Rowley's observation. One of the other powers that many superheroes need to have in order to save the day is observation. Because heroes like Batman have to be perfectly aware of their surroundings in order to go and make it so that they can change the situation should they need to, or get away in case the fight is going to escalate and more people will be in danger should they stay there. For James Rowley, he was in arguably the worst possible position one day when a man tried to rob the bank while he was right there at the teller station. James played it cool and looked at the robber close enough to see that the gun they were using was fake. He called them out on it and forced the robber to run. Then he chased after him with a fire extinguisher and subdued him until the police showed up. Batman would be proud. Number 3. The wrong victim. This one is just as much about the robber as the hero, because picking the right target is just as important as the robbery itself. Take this guy, who tried to talk to a woman to ask about the classes she teaches, and when she was explaining, he swipes her phone. Simple and effective, right? Except the classes she taught were self-defense classes, and she promptly caught him, got her phone back, and kicked him for good measure. To be clear, this guy wasn't out of shape or anything, but this lady straight up owned him, and when backup arrived, she didn't need it, and that guy knew he should leave. 2. There's something about Mary. Mary Parker was a woman who didn't want to be a superhero either, but like the others on this list, she went and answered the call when it came. Ironically though, that call came from Facebook. You see, she saw a posting that a young boy in her local area had gotten his $1,600 bike stolen near where she had her store. Sure enough, the person who stole that bike came to her store and tried to sell it to her. Knowing the truth, she rushed the guy and held on to the bike so that he couldn't get away with it again. But wait, there's more. After the initial struggle that Mary won, the thief came back again, and once again, Mary fought him off. Oh, and did we mention Mary was 72 as well? Number 1, get the gun. Imagine this. You're working your job when suddenly a person comes in and points the gun at you and demands you open the register. That's what happened to this woman here. But you can tell that while she's complying with his demands, she isn't afraid of him. Sure enough, he lets his guard down and put down the gun. And when he did, she grabbed it and pointed it right back at him, ensuring that the punk ran away. So, what do you think? What do you think of this look at superheroes in our own world who stepped up when the call went out? Were you surprised by the variety of people who did this? Which of them was your personal favorite in terms of who acted and how they acted? Do these people inspire you to try and do good where you are? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.